Because Tom Holland is the worst person in the world holding a secret.
Right.
Spider-Man Far From Home started filming in UK this week.
Woohoo.
Hello, cult members. Welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
She's so excited that I said it the right way.
Woohoo.
And this is what we believe to be episode 69, dudes. Like, wow. I could go on a whole diatribe of what's going to happen with Bill and Ted 3. I'm super excited, but come on, 69.
69.
We are a bunch of 12-year-olds when it comes to,
We.
Okay. Me and the porg and the monkey.
Yes. Yes.
Tom Holland did actually legitimately give out the title to the second Spider-Man, and it wasn't a leak. He actually meant to do it. He got the okay because he was leaving from what was that? Ace Comic-Con in Seattle a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he was going from there to the UK to start filming, and
right.
He posted a video on Instagram from the hotel, from the set.
He was in a hallway
or something, and he opened the blinds and hey everybody, hi everybody, but I can't come out and say hi to you, so I'm just saying it through Instagram. And
I thought you meant the
the releasing of the
leak.
Yeah, that was in a hallway or whatever. But he did the Instagram video today of he was looking out at, there's 200 people out on the street corner on the other side of the street from whatever the building that they were in, and he's like, I can't come out and say hi, I really want to, but hi guys. And it was it's so cute. Tom Holland's amazing. He and Brie Larson, I think, we're going to be the face of the next generation of Avengers.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be dumbfounded when they figure out who Brie Larson really is and what kind of person she is. We know because Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. But when the rest of the world figures it out, they're going to be kind of
as long as she doesn't have to run in high heels, she'll be fine.
She'll be fine. There's a blooper from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World where she's in these
giant platform,
5-inch platform, knee-high Google boots, because she's a lead singer of a band, and she takes 3 steps and just tumbles.
Yeah.
Most uncoordinated rock singer ever. And they dubbed her stuff because she couldn't sing.
She can't sing.
So we have some stuff we're going to go over this week. Some internet stuff with Screen Junkies and the weekend box office. We have a couple of reviews for you guys this week, and then we might get the chance to talk about a little bit about Hall H for San Diego Comic-Con and what's going on there.
Right.
We've been kind of doing that as a continuous thing with Hall H and San Diego. We'll probably do Ballroom 20, which is the other big room, next week.
Okay.
Because I got a list of it's all kind of getting close to what we're getting, and
all right,
some plotting and planning and stuff. But the first thing this last weekend was Amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con. There wasn't anything earth-shattering that came out of it. Charlie Cox was there. He said that they're done filming Daredevil season 3.
Yeah.
And that's about all he could say.
Now, I did hear, and I don't know if it came out of this or something else, that they are not going to do any more Defenders, which was kind of sad.
Yeah, I read. Who was talking about that? Was it Schnapp over at Collider Heroes or something like that? It was something
somebody
like that. And yeah, I thought the whole purpose was to do these individual series and then do these 6-8 episode one-offs of the Defenders.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We have not watched Luke Cage yet. We talked about this last week. I haven't seen any talk about Luke Cage on the internet.
Yeah, still.
And which has me concerned, or more concerned than actually people being nice and not spoiling it online and stuff like that.
I mean, it's been a couple weeks now.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
We finished Arrow. We're gonna do Flash next, and we'll probably get into Luke Cage then, and we'll get into Arrow in a bit. But yeah, everybody who seemed to go, STS guys were there, Drink Geeks were there, Converse God, what is his freaking Instagram handle? He's the guy who looks like he is dressed as a Black Panther. You'll see a bunch of pictures from the
Oh,
con.
yeah.
He lives here in Phoenix. He was up there with Drink Geeks and stuff. We've been kind of conversing back and forth online on stuff, and it looks like everybody had a really good time. It's much more of the comic book creators kind of con, which is cool. Last year they had Stan Lee and Todd McFarlane, so they're just kind of giving an idea.
Yeah.
And but nothing other than it just looked like everybody had a really good time. So if you went, please let us know, share some photos, and we'll disseminate accordingly. So we want to talk about a little bit of business stuff. We don't normally talk about business stuff on the show. We have in the past about, who runs DC and what the hell they're doing and whose head and whose ass they are. And
Movie Pass. We talked
about the Movie Pass. I was getting to that too. We don't. I want to talk about the creative stuff, not the business side. But this is kind of a big deal because I'm a Collider guy. I like Collider's stuff. And Janice likes Screen Junkies. And so I watched Collider. She watched Screen Junkies. We sit at the dining room table, the kitchen counter, and talk about each other's shows and how they were addressing the same subject of whatever's in the movie news and stuff.
Yep.
And so it came out today that Defy Media sold they sold Screen Junkies to Fandom. Fandom is it's actually an app that I use, but its parent company is I'm trying to find it. Wiki, or the online encyclopedia hosting site, and it has 400,000 communities across the web, mostly based on fan-centric topics: video games, movies, TV shows, that kind of thing. They run, I believe they run Marvel Wikipedia, and Wikipedia for Star Wars and stuff like that kind of stuff. So there's that kind of stuff. Fandom is kind of a newer thing that they've been doing. This is a really cool app where you can they're finding all the stories that are going on and just putting it in one central location. And via the app, you can pick what you want to follow. So if you want to follow just Marvel movies, it'll give you just Marvel movie stuff. Or Star Wars, or comics, or E3, or whatever. And so you can take stuff out that you don't want to, if you're not into Fortnite, you can skip all the Fortnite stuff. You don't need to see that. Right. Yeah, and that's so cool. I've been really, a lot of the stuff I've been getting lately, both to post the Facebook page and the Instagram page, but for news and notes for our show every week, I've been getting from them as a good kind of central location, and they're disseminating the information from other places, and they're just using it as a central location.
I only knew them as the company that kind of does the one-off movie things. So once a month or whatever, you'll have some movie that nobody's seen in forever brought to you in the movie theater by Fandom.
So I'm pretty, I've been pretty happy with it. And they finally decided that they wanted to get into the YouTube marketplace, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And they bought Screen Junkies. Now, Defy Media has been having some issues over the last year. Revenue's down, things aren't as good. They had the whole Andy Signore thing that happened.
Yep.
So they've had a really rough year over at Screen Junkies specifically, but Defy Media as a whole. And so it's a really good move for Screen Junkies, I think, to get into a much more stable position. And I think there's a little bit more, I don't want to say money, but more ability to do production there.
Yeah. Well, it seems a lot like what Collider just went through, right?
Yeah.
Where that other guy,
Mark, blah, 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 blah.
Mark. Yeah. Bought them or whatever and obviously dumped some money in it. They got some new studios and everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think that'll be good for them, but it's interesting because I've heard of Wiki, obviously, and I've heard of Fandom, but I never really thought of them as this big, I'm going to go buy you out company.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
The company that used to own Collider was, fuck, I can't remember. They're from New York. And they own several different YouTube entertainment-based websites and channels and stuff like that. I cannot remember what they're called. And Collider wanted to move in a different direction from their company that they were with, were at.
Right.
And so Mark came in and bought them.
Yeah.
And did.
Well, they originally were with AMC, right?
Right. The AMC Movie Talk
was how they started.
Is how they started.
Yeah.
And then this other company came in, and AMC said, we're not going to put money into this anymore.
Yeah.
And so you can keep the Movie Talk name. And this other company came in and kind of gave them some production value. And that's what with John Campia and all that stuff was going on.
Right.
So I just find it really interesting that, it looks like a really positive thing. The Screen Junkies talked about it on a video today, that they are excited. They're obviously nervous because they got bought out by a new company, which means they're going to be changed somewhere down the line. But as of right now, the status quo, they have their own offices. Fandom has their own offices in LA, so they might, converge at one point in time.
Yeah, and we were talking about it, that Fandom or Wiki or whatever has like 300 employees nationwide.
Yeah.
And Screen Junkies has like 22, and that kind of seemed like a lot to me, but I don't know what else.
They're doing the daily show. They're doing movie fights once a week. They're doing honest trailers. Honest trailers is the biggest thing that they're known for.
But I see mostly...
They run a website. They run social media,
I see mostly the on-air people, and then JTE, because he crosses over to Collider and he's their camera guy, mixer guy.
Well, he was the Schmoes intern for a long time.
Right, but now on Screen Junkies, he's
like the production guy or something. Yeah. They give him some screen time. He actually is pretty good.
Yeah, they don't have him on very often. But most of their on-air stuff is done by 4 people.
Yeah.
So...
Collider's at I want to say 15 people.
Yeah, they have a ton of people that are on it. Well, and less now, right? They got rid of
The big thing though with them is they have Collider.com, and Collider.com has got Collider.com out, and then you have Collider video,
yeah,
and then you have they have you have Heroes, Movie Talk, and they're Collider Gaming, which they're just now starting to get into,
right? Which
has been a really big thing that they're trying to be pushing. And then they also have the Schmoes guys,
right?
So they have Schmoes Know and the Schmoes Know Network and all that stuff. So it's not just Collider video there.
Yeah.
So
just seems like they have a lot more going on. But
what we're trying to get to is if you're looking for new talent, we're happy to talk to you. Via Skype, in person, or I'll just beg if I have to.
He can be your on-air guy, and I'll be your office person.
If you
person.
need somebody to write stuff out, don't ask me. Ask her, and then I'll just be the on-air, flailing my arms around and telling everybody how they're being. Not to change the subject, but it's on the same subject matter. Jeff Snyder. It's been hired by Collider. They call him the N Snyder because he's got all this information and everything that's going on. He knows the market, he knows everybody in Hollywood, and he gets all the information. He's been a great addition to them for getting scoops and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with him.
And that's where I was going to say. I don't necessarily agree with him. I'm a good counterpoint to that. So I'm just saying.
Right. Because I think that,
because I love everything.
We watch some of these shows, and there's people who are kind of deep into the industry that aren't exactly in touch with everybody else.
Yeah.
Right. So, and you get that with like movie critics and stuff. They're like, oh, this is a horrible movie, blah, blah, blah. And average Joes, we all love it, because we're not deep in the weeds. So sometimes it gets a little frustrating when you're listening to them talk and you're like, you're so wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, from your point of view, I'm sure you're right.
And it's okay to be subjective and have your own opinion and stuff like that. But like to sit there and get online and sit there and say, this movie is terrible, you shouldn't see it. I don't think anybody really wants to do that. Like even Rocco, when he goes off on a tangent or whatever, he says how bad it is. But at the end, he always says, I don't like it. It's cool that you do.
Right.
So, but like that kind of like cynic kind of thing gets on my nerves sometimes.
Yeah.
And as much as I love the Collider guys, and Screen Junkie guys do it too. So I'm not singling out.
Yeah, they do.
That cynic. Maybe if I've been in the industry for 10 years and seen every movie and seen all the bad ones because I had to go see the bad ones and that kind of thing. Yeah, we don't see the movies we don't want to see. So we see the ones we want to see. So
and you don't know it's the same thing with our other hobby, right?
Right.
We have been behind the curtain.
That's true.
And
That's
so
true.
You're a little more jaded than people.
We're the cynics when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah, because we've seen behind the curtain. We know what goes on, and some people love somebody same exact thing in Hollywood. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're the best actor ever," and the people that actually know him are like, "Oh my God, he's a douchebag."
Right, right. Everybody loved Stephen Weintraub because he would give people money to do movies, and then he would be trying to fuck a girlfriend in the back office and not, and so I get that. So good luck to Screen Junkies. You can get a hold of us at popcultureculttalks@gmail.com. Please email us if you're interested in our services, please.
We'll send you resumes.
I'll make up something. I'll sling some poo, which is what I'm really good at. If you're looking for somebody to sling some poo.
He did actually go to radio school.
I did.
So he does actually have some
this high-pitched squeaky voice.
Training.
This high-pitched vocal whatever thing. My voice is very deep.
And
I can do some of that stuff. I can do some video editing as long as I understand the program. We're moving on. I'm done begging for now. I'll see you next week. Okay, on to the fun stuff. So we finally got to see Incredibles 2. It took us 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Because goddamn, it's killing it right now.
Yeah.
We'll get into the box office later, but it's made $700 million total in 3 weeks, which is the entire run of the first Incredibles.
Oh, nice.
So we went and saw it with our daughter, who's 23. And so she was
24.
Okay, she's 24. I can't keep up. So she was 10 when the original one came out.
Okay.
And she was like, "This was so much fun and so good and stuff." So I really liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah.
I would like to see it again. We talked about it when we left the movie theater. We went to the 7:15 show on Wednesday.
On a Wednesday, yeah.
And school's out, and it was full of little kids. And I get it. It's a kids movie. I'm not even mad, but it does pull you out of the movie.
It does.
And we were like laughing. What was that one kid saying? Every time something, it was like balls or something would come on screen, and and I just kept laughing. But anyway,
we're big. Because of this, we've gotten more and more about the theater experience more than we have more about the movie. Like we've always cared about the movies. I think we care now more about the movie theater experience. Because we talked about this last week with Movie Pass and how we pick our different theaters based on more comfort of the chairs and the stuff we're getting. So, so I really liked the Incredibles. They did a really good job of kind of switching up the story. Kind of telling somewhat of the same story, but switching up everybody's roles. And Elastigirl's the ones going out, and Mr. Incredible's the stay-at-home dad, and him having to come to grips with it's up to her. The villain is really cool.
Yes, the plot twist was expected. Like, so our daughter was like, oh, I mean, she actually leaned over to me and said, it's this person.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of a, there's a little bit of misdirection. There's a little bit, but
again, it's for kids, so you know we're gonna see the plot twist coming. Kids probably aren't necessarily gonna see the plot twist coming, which is fine. That's fine. I love the animation of the Pixar movies, so I'm just gonna be in every time.
And Jack was amazing.
And before the movie starts, they did two things. So Pixar normally has some short or whatever. Yeah. The lady just ate her son.
The entire theater was like,
what happened? But the short was cool once you kind of figure out what was going on. And then they did this, like, thank you for waiting so long. We trust us. It's going to be cool video with the three main, Holly Hunt, Samuel L. Jackson, and
Craig T.
Nelson. And the three of them came on the screen and like, we're so sorry it took so long. Animation takes so long, and we didn't know what we were doing, and like you're kind of poking fun of themselves. But Craig T. Nelson had a shirt, and it was it was a silhouette of Jack, and it was all the different
all the faces
of Jack. They switched. I'm like, that's it out of the movie. That's the thing I want the most is the freaking T-shirt. Overall, I don't have really anything to complain about with the movie. I mean, it's a kid movie, so we knew the plot twist and all that stuff. I was really, really happy with it.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the way out. I was like, well, it wasn't the first one, and it wasn't as good as the first one. And I kind of paused for a minute. I'm like, you know what? No. It's its own movie with the same characters. Stop trying to compare it to everything else. So I have a new philosophy on life. As a movie by itself, did I like it?
Yeah.
Yes, I liked it.
Yeah.
And I liked it as much as the first one, but I'm not going to judge it against the first one.
Right, and it's a sequel, and the trap that you fall into with a sequel, like you said, comparing it to the first one, you're never going to be the first one because it's the first one.
Right.
It's the first time you're seeing these characters. It's the first time you're, experiencing this world or this bad guy or this creepy thing or whatever. So all the sequels that you ever make are not going to have that newness. So then you kind of have to take that out of the equation and then think about the movie that way.
Two of my favorite sequels are Too Fast, Too Furious and Tokyo Drift. Too Fast, Too Furious is almost Plaid kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't hold it to the same standards as the first one. The second one is its own movie, and it's ridiculous, and it's almost comic booky.
Yeah.
And it's dumb, but I love it, and it's silly, and that's why I love it. And Tokyo Drift is a completely departure from the other ones, and it's a really cool story of a out of box, guy out of his own box trying to learn a new culture and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm just, what I'm saying is I'm going to try to do my best with, because there's remaking and sequeling everything nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to start making a point of setting this using this movie as a standalone. Do I like this movie as a standalone, whatever, and then judge it based on the other stuff.
Yeah.
And as a, extra criteria if I like it or not, whatever. Anyways, we're on a tangent for Incredibles. We liked it. It was good. Score.
Yay, score. 3. What?
I was going to say 4.
Oh, you can give it whatever score you want.
I think I'm going to give it a 4, but now I'm questioning why I'm giving it a 4.
You can give it whatever score you want.
A million.
Between 1 and 5.
Oh, okay. All right. I was thinking 3.75, 4 is where I was. If we don't own the first one, I don't know why we don't own the first one. I think we do.
No, we totally do.
I would totally get this one as a backup.
No, we totally do. I look at the DVD shelf
when
every day when we're working out. It's right. It's right there.
It's right there.
It's right there.
So I would totally buy this.
Yeah, I would too.
I would totally buy this.
I liked it. It was fine. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And again, maybe that had something to do with the movie experience.
Yeah, I get that.
I feel like
because that
I probably
tainted
missed some.
War the Planet of the Apes for us is the movie experience.
Well,
with that.
yeah, because I didn't know there were subtitles for the first third of the movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you feel like you've missed some stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because there's talking and kids crying and all that. So
lots of running around back and forth in front of us and stuff.
Yeah.
So we also finished Arrow last night. Now, we have talked about this many times, and I'm not going to stop talking about it, but I'm just going to mention it now to get it out of the way. Arrow is one of my favorite shows. It's 5 episodes too long every season.
Yes.
It was 23 episodes this season. Okay. It's 22 episodes, and the 23rd is the crossover one. The crossover one this year was so fucking good. Yeah. It was so good. This season, though, overall was really damn good.
It was.
It followed up last season. We've talked about it in the past. The first 2 seasons get progressively better, and then we have the whole Ra's al Ghul thing. Which I thought should have been 2 seasons, but it was actually really only 1. Yeah. And then we had the Damien Dark stuff, which I didn't really... I liked, but it wasn't up to the same par.
Damien Dark was not...
he's not the right villain for that show.
Yeah, he's not... I mean, Ortiz? What's the bad guy's name in this season?
Diaz.
Sorry.
That's racist.
Not to be racist. Damn.
He was good.
Damn. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but he did some stuff where you're like, you're a dick.
Yeah. Yeah. I like villains. We talked about this with Thanos and with Killmonger. I like villains that you understand their motivation. Now, there are times in this season where his motivation doesn't exactly match his actions because he goes further and further and further off the ledge. Yes. And the more we get into the season, the deeper you go into the season, the further out on the ledge he goes. And then once he goes over the edge the full way, holy shit. Yeah. They showed that on network TV.
Yeah, on CW.
On CW, they showed that.
CW's always been, and Arrow and Flash and Legends of Tomorrow have always been, pretty safe, right?
Yeah.
There's not, there's kissing a little bit between,
the first
married
the
characters.
First season of Arrow, they kind of overboard the, it's Stephen Amell and he's hot and Katie Cassidy's hot. And so there were some extended kind of sex scenes that first season, but they kind of got away from it. But I see what you're saying. They never really kind of went to that with a show that deals with vigilantes killing people.
Right. And they went the whole left way there for a while where, the Arrow wasn't going to kill anybody anymore. And so they just, that kind of got into the, no consequences, I think that's what the Flash is struggling with, where nobody ever dies and nothing bad, the bad guys are just kind of jerks, they're not.
Diaz is one of the better bad guys I've seen on a show. Yeah. In a while. Yeah. I mean, in a while. I mean, he would be really good bad guy in the Breaking Bad universe. Like that, or the Sons of Anarchy universe. Yeah. Like he's that kind of level of bad guy, and his thought process and his planning and stuff that he did is so well done. There's a couple episodes in this season where it kind of gets off the rails a little bit, and that's again with the 23 episode season. There's one episode where Roy Harper comes back. I'm not giving a spoiler away. It was all over the internet. If you're into the Arrowverse, you already know. He came back for a 2-episode arc. It almost felt like they didn't know what to do with the characters that were involved in those episodes for the rest of the season. So they wrote this episode to kind of maybe get them out of the way.
Yeah.
I liked those 2 episodes outside of the main story.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, they didn't have anything to do with the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah. It was just kind of, that was for us. We've talked about filler episodes. It kind of felt like a filler episode to kind of get,
Because why are you bringing him back to send him away again?
So the internet rumor is he's going to be back in season 7 as a full-time person, as a full-time character.
Okay.
So that would be cool, especially the way they ended everything. This season. I want to do a whole spoiler talk, but we probably won't. But the way they end the season, they kind of leave it open for the wagons to get circled, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's big stuff that happens in the last couple of episodes. But I think for us, overall for the season, I'm really impressed with Katie Cassidy, Emily, Felicity, and Stephen Amell. They all 3 of them really showed depth of knowledge of their characters, but also depth of their acting abilities and being able to pull out emotions when things were going bad.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I love this show so much is this season had everything to do with ramifications of actions that Oliver has taken.
Yeah.
And now we're getting all that blowback. And that's the whole season was dealing with all the mistakes he's made in the past.
Yeah.
The previous season was about the ghosts of the decisions that he made. This was a direct
right, and
representation
they
of
didn't
it.
wrap it up with a nice little bow on it at the end.
Yeah.
Stuff still is messed up.
Yeah. If it was now like I said, we're gonna watch Flash next, but Flash ended up last season with a really nice bow. And then
almost
they threw
every episode.
but then they threw a little thing in for this kind of set up the next season, and the last season of Arrow ends with the fucking island exploding.
Yeah,
and you have no clue. You have to wait 8 months to find out if anybody lives outside of Oliver and William.
Yeah,
and this season ends very much the same way. I'm not saying that people died or we don't know who is alive or dead or whatever,
right.
but you have no clue what's going forward. And
right.
that's part of the reason why this show is so good to me. The fight scenes are so well done. We actually talked about it. The fight choreography this time seemed better.
Yes.
And it's been progressively better as the seasons have gone along.
Yeah.
But it was even better now because all the fight shots were very close. Instead of way back and kind of hiding guys, hiding the stunt doubles or whatever, a lot of the fights were really in close, and there's a really cool hallway scene in the last 3 episodes. There's a hallway scene in the precincts.
Oh yeah.
And I got done with that scene, and I'm like, they just tried to out Daredevil with the hallway scene.
Yeah.
And
the guy that plays, so there's a big fight in the last episode, and I kept watching it. Now it's at night outside, but it's fairly well lit. And the guy that plays Diaz, they show him fighting in a ring, in an auditorium. It's very well lit.
Yeah.
So I've seen him on stuff before, and so I'm wondering if he got some training, or because it was
maybe.
Obviously him in a lot of that.
The girl that plays the new Black Canary, either they got her twin or her body double is exactly built the same as she is.
Yeah.
Because there's shots where you can see that she has some athletic ability to her, but there's also some scenes where you see the back of her head or whatever. Well, she's wearing it's not skin tight, but it's a tight leather outfit, and she has the same body shape.
Yeah.
So they've done a really good job of hiding the actors and stuff. But the season overall was really well done. I was on IMDb earlier. Not one episode was below a 7.8 or 7.9.
Wow.
And they had some 9s in there for all the episodes. So it was overall a really, really, really good season.
Yeah.
Now, if you have not watched Arrow and you try to jump in at the beginning of this season, it's going to be very hard for you. There's multiple episodes with throwbacks to stuff and people and characters from previous seasons.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, the ghost of decisions that Steven has made over the last 6 seasons, Oliver's made over the last 6 seasons, play a part in the story arc. So there's characters who were Slade Wilson is in a whole circuit, and there's callbacks to the first season.
Yeah,
but like there's a callback. There's 2 callbacks in the last episode. One is a character, and I'll give you that much. But the other one was the 3rd episode. Was the lie detector test. That's the 3rd episode.
Yeah. Well, there's the scene where Katie Cassidy is like, you need to get on the boat. And that was the 1st episode.
Yeah.
When she tells him, now, it wasn't the scene from that episode, obviously, because Stephen and Katie are both the age that they are now, not the age they were then. And Stephen, like, I don't know, wig, or I don't know, when they did the flashbacks.
Wear wigs. He wears wigs a lot on that show.
When he was, because he was a teenager, like maybe 20 or whatever, when he gets on the boat with his dad and the whole thing happens.
One of my favorite things that Stephen Amell does was he would do live videos from his trailer on set when they have like an hour or whatever to kill.
Facebook,
So he'd do Facebook live Q&As or whatever.
Yeah.
He still has all of his makeup on and his wig, and you could always tell what they were filming based on the wig that
if he was on
the
the island, his hair was all long and shaggy.
Or if he was in Thailand or Russia or whatever. It was always fun. So what I'm telling you is, you have to watch Arrow, watch seasons 1, 2, the first half of 3, watch 5 and 6. Especially if you're trying to watch this season 6, you probably should watch season 5, because you'll get enough of the. You'll at least get enough. And I'll continue to complain about this until somebody starts listening to me. The Arrowverse needs to be 16 episode arcs.
Yeah.
Legends of Tomorrow was 16 episodes. That was including the crossover, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
There was no fluff. There was no bullshit. The story made sense.
Yeah.
There was no this extra stuff. And I'm really interested to see what they do moving forward with Arrow. We know that Legends is kind of a fluid cast.
Yeah.
And so there might be some fluidity with the Arrow cast coming forward. And so I'm just interested to see, and then we'll get into Flash and see what happens there.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the weekend box office, and we're going to talk about the weekend box office partly because of a talk that I heard on Collider today. So Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom won the weekend with $60 million. It's now at $265 million domestically, and it's $930 worldwide in 3.5 weeks. And so the talk was, now it was a 59% drop from the previous week to this week, and it still made almost $61 million.
Right.
The discussion that they were having was, why aren't people complaining that the box office is so low for Fallen Kingdom compared to the first Jurassic World? Because Jurassic World made $2.5 billion or whatever it was, $2.3 billion or something like that.
Jesus.
And so, why is this one doing so bad? What's wrong with the Jurassic World franchise? Where's that talk?
Because there's not the rabid fanboy Jurassic Park world, whatever. There are fans,
right?
But they're not rabid like some of the Star Wars fans.
Some of the Star Wars fans need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah. And Jurassic Park. Okay, Jurassic Park, the first one, good, awesome.
Changed CGI forever.
Yeah, and I mean the first time you saw dinosaurs, you're like, oh my god.
Still gives me chills.
Yeah.
20 years later.
2 is okay. 3 is dumb.
Doesn't exist.
Then Jurassic World, now you got all the member berries, and we're back here again, and that's cool. You know, the expectations, it's not like every Jurassic Park World movie has been
right
a world beater.
And the first one, nobody expected it to make $2.3 billion. Nobody expected it to do that.
And it was the member berries that got everybody.
Well, and the dinosaurs looked awesome, and the story makes it's okay. You have the perfect storm in Jurassic World. You have all the member berries, which is a huge part.
Yes.
And us as parents took our kids to see the first Jurassic Park. Yep. Now our kids are taking their kids to go see Jurassic World, and they're like, "You've seen this movie. You've seen all this. You know, here's the Jeep, and here's the original T-Rex, and the guy's wearing the original Jurassic Park shirt." They even freaking pointed out. Where was I going with this? Oh, you also have. The dinosaurs looked even better than Jurassic Park.
Yeah. And you had new ones.
And you got new ones and all that stuff. And you have pretty much one of the hottest actors on the planet with Chris Pratt right now.
Yeah. Who
is pretty much beloved by everyone, including the movie insiders. He won a freaking MTV movie award or whatever and told everybody believe in Jesus. Like, and he got away with it. Like, people would... And Dallas Clark... Shut up, phone. Bryce Dallas Howard is gorgeous, and so you have this, who's and also well beloved and well liked by everybody in the industry. So you have this perfect storm of everything. The first one, so it made almost $2.5 billion.
Yeah.
No way was that ever going to happen again.
Right.
Outside of our opinion of the movie. That was never going to happen.
Right. Almost $1 billion is... I mean, what did it...
In 3 weeks!
What did it cost to make the movie?
I think it was $180 for the movie and probably another $150 for advertising. They never talk about advertising.
So they
budgets.
Always say 3 times what it cost is a
successful movie.
They did it.
They've done that in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, and they haven't sold it to HBO yet, and they haven't done Blu-rays and downloads and all other stuff. And we'll probably end up buying it, even though we weren't super excited about it.
Yeah, we will.
Because you watched the first one, and now you want to watch the second one.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Incredibles made $46 million, and $20 actually. Movie Pass paid for us. It's made $440 million domestically. Like I said, $700 million worldwide. It's gonna make $1 billion. What happened to when $1 billion was not a big deal? A movie made $1 billion, and it's not a big deal anymore.
Well,
there's gonna be at this point, I think there's 6 movies they're gonna pass $1 billion.
Yeah, but I mean, China gets a lot of movies now. They don't get all of them, but they get a lot of movies now, and that's a big bump.
Well, and back when we were kids, movies were $3.50.
Yeah.
And now it's $15.
Yeah, it's inflation, and then was it Iraq got their first movie theater? Was it Iraq?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and they got Black Panther was the first movie
there.
I
think so.
Was it Saudi Arabia maybe or something like that?
Yeah. So I mean, movies. It's the world is getting smaller as far as movies are concerned.
Right, and I think that's a good thing. In the grand scheme of things, I think it's a good thing. But I'm still struggling with the it's made $1 billion and it's not doing well. The big 2 winners this weekend were Uncle Drew made $15 million and Sicario de Sadalo made $19 million. The original Sicario, only made $17 million in the theater.
Wow.
Or it was like that. Or maybe that was opening weekend. It didn't do, it wasn't nobody knew who anybody was in that movie.
Right.
Right.
They had Emily Blunt. I mean, Josh Brolin
And Emily Blunt.
And Emily Blunt, but it was kind of like we saw it way after the fact, and we're like, oh my god, this movie is amazing.
It was on before we came in to do the show tonight, and I was like, do I record this so I can watch it again? Because
it's on Amazon.
Right, I know.
You don't have to record it.
You're missing my point.
I get your point. Yes, it was that good. We could go watch it when we're done.
Yeah. Uncle Drew, for a basketball movie with a bunch of ex-NBA players and Kyrie Irving, made $15 million. I'm sure that budget for that movie was like maybe 20 or 25.
Yeah.
They're going to make their money back on that movie. I'm intrigued. I'm not going to lie. I'm intrigued by that. As a young, tall basketball player who never really made anything out of it, I always dreamed of going to Rutgers Park and playing in New York.
All right.
I got to play in Venice Beach once. Freaking goosebumps. But it's not Rutgers Park. Tag's still plugging along at 41 million. And then, there's a couple movies in here. There's Deadpool 2 is still making money. So is Infinity War. And freaking Solo is still making money.
Yeah.
And then Won't You Be My Neighbor? Be my neighbor.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood documentary. Mr. Rogers documentary has made $7.5 million. $2.5 million this last weekend. I got a wider release this last weekend. I think it even gets wider this weekend. I'm not paying money to go to a theater and see a documentary. However, I watched a lot of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Fraggle Rock, Looney Tunes, and then we have a show here in Arizona called Wallace and Ladmo Show.
Well, we used to, not anymore.
Not anymore. At the one point in time, it was the longest running kids show on TV, and it was. I'm pretty sure they were high most of the time.
Yeah.
And they would do like stage, like
kind of vaudeville,
almost whatever, and then they do a skit or whatever, and then they show a cartoon, like an 8-minute cartoon, and then they come
gave away Ladmo bags, and they were. When we were kids, they were big, huge paper grocery bags with full-size games and full-size bags of chips and a 6-pack of soda. By the time they went off the air, they were little lunch bags with a little bag of chips and a can of soda and
an apple, because they got yelled at for all the sugars and stuff. Anyways, that was part of it. So, we're gonna do a whole show on Ladmo, Wallace and Ladmo show, but. Mr. Rogers was always one of the shows that I watched when I was younger, so I'm really interested in seeing that documentary. I'll probably end up waiting for it to come out on Amazon or Netflix or whatever.
Yeah,
HBO, that kind of thing.
Just because we have too many other things we need to see.
Right. Like watch Sicario again. Two more things. I'm going to talk about Firefly real quick. Firefly, one of our all-time favorite shows. 13 episodes of awesomeness and 15 years of crying.
Gone too soon.
Jane hat on the monkey. I mean, come on. We got Serenity the movie. We also got a comic book series that was done by Dark Horse. Well, that series has run out. There was a bunch of one-offs that happened in. I've got them all. They're sitting down there somewhere. Very good comic book series. It all has to happen. It all happens right after the movie. And that series has come to an end. And the publishing house called Boom Studios has got the rights to it now. And they're going to start a new comic book series starting this November. With the writer Greg Pak and artist Dan McDade. And Pak is the guy who wrote Planet Hulk comic, and they took a lot of the Planet Hulk stuff from the comic and put it in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So you got that writing stuff, and they're going to explore Unification War. So the war where Mal and Zoe get to know each other,
right?
And we'll get the Battle of Serenity Valley and all that stuff. I love that they're going back and doing this story, and from that point of view and moving it forward. I think that's going to be a one-off, but I just come on, yes. And talking about comic books, we've been slowly talking about San Diego Comic-Con. As of today, we got a pretty full list of what's coming to Hall H. Now, Hall H is the big hall.
Right.
6,000 people. People camp out for 4 days to get into Hall H. Some of the toys that are coming out for freaking Comic-Con.
Apparently, they have gone digital, virtual. You don't have
they're
to
doing
stand
portals.
in line and camp.
They're doing portals for the toys, so you can get an online lottery, and I think they might be doing that for Hall H, but I haven't read that.
But okay.
I know specifically for the toys they're doing
Okay.
it. Hasbro's doing it, Pop is doing it, Sideshow's doing it, that kind of stuff. But Hall H, as of right now, we have Bumblebee. We have Universal's coming with a twofer panel. They're going to do Glass and Halloween. They're doing Predator. Sony is doing a twofer one. They're doing Venom and Into the Spider-Verse. That means if they're doing Venom, Tom Hardy could be walking around the floor dressed as Venom. That would be really cool.
That'd be
awesome. They're doing a 10th anniversary Breaking Bad panel.
It hasn't been 10 years.
That could be a lot of fun because the panels they've done in the past with Breaking Bad at San Diego Comic-Con have been Bryan Cranston pretty much running court.
Yeah.
And like just pulling all kinds of shit. So that could be a lot of fun. Better Call Saul is going to be on Hall H. Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead are both doing their own panels.
Sure.
Which I find interesting that they're not doing a combined panel.
Yeah.
But Preacher's getting a Hall H one. Apparently, it's like we watched the first 4 episodes of Preacher, first 5 episodes of Preacher.
I think we watched the first season.
And then we haven't watched since, and everybody says it's freaking amazing. Discovery, Star Trek Discovery is doing Hall H. Legion is doing Hall H. The Mayans MC, which is the prequel to Sons of Anarchy, is in Hall H. Really? Rivendell. We don't watch Rivendell, but it's all over the world right now, so it makes sense on Hall H.
Sure.
Supernatural does their big panel, and then we have the Warner Brothers and the Doctor Who stuff we've already talked in the past. Now, I'm looking for the reason I keep bringing this up is I'm really looking forward to this stuff. What I'm really wondering though is some of the stuff like we talked about, the Breaking Bad panel, the Discovery panel, the Preacher, the Walking Dead stuff. All of that stuff would have been Ballroom 20.
Yeah. Normally,
So I'm wondering what the blowback to Ballroom 20 and we're gonna have the Arrowverse stuff, but I'm just finding it very interesting that with the lack of Game of Thrones and all the other shows and stuff like that aren't going to be there. The medium boys are getting brought up to the big leagues.
Yeah, and maybe that's good. Maybe that's good for them. That'll get them out there and get more visibility, or nobody will go. I don't know.
Right.
We'll find out.
People are going to go because it's Hall H.
Yeah, but are people going to camp out to see Better Call Saul or Walking Dead that everybody's like, ugh, or
right? That's kind of why I brought it up.
It's kind of weird.
People are gonna camp to see Bumblebee and the Warner Brothers stuff, Supernatural.
Maybe I don't. Sure.
The Warner Brothers stuff, I think, is going to be the biggest draw. We talked about that. And Doctor Who is going to be a pretty big draw.
Yeah, I think Doctor Who would be a big one.
And Bumblebee, I think, will be a big draw. Glass and Halloween will be a big draw. Venom and the Spider-Verse thing, I think that's be a big draw. But everything else is like, I don't know if it's worth the camp out.
Yeah, it's stuff that we would maybe get at ours.
Yeah. And so I'm just like,
yeah, we'll see.
All right,
a couple more weeks,
and we'll be covering all of that from our couch. Hashtag CouchCon. I'm bringing it back. Bringing it back.
Bringing back CouchCon.
I'm going to say the other line so bad.
No. No.
What do you guys think of this week? That was this week's show. Some reviews. We both liked Incredibles and Arrow. Box office. I'm still very much confused of what's going on there. And do you watch Screen Junkies? Do you think that's a good decision for them and everything else that we talked about this week? Let us know. Leave us a comment on this week's show and let us know if there's something that we missed that you think that we need to talk about. Also, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell. Get notifications when we're uploading stuff all the time, especially when it comes to San Diego Comic-Con and #CouchCon. And get a hold of us, too, on all of our social media outlets. We are on Facebook at PopCultureCult. We are on Instagram, I think, at PopCultureCult1. I believe we're on Twitter at Pop_Cult1. Like, follow, subscribe to everything you see and the Stardust app. Download it for free. Subscribe to us first. React to everything you're watching. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think it's bedtime. Or we'll go watch the Cario.
Great.
And until next time, good night now.